But the biggest question, I understand that the biggest question on everybody's mind right now is what happens after April the 14th. Yes, we're going to stand on our balconies. Yes, we will light candles. And yes, we see the benefit of symbolism coming together and this morale boost from the Prime Minister. But is there clarity on what happens after April the 14th? We try and answer some of those questions.
When he asked you to clap, you clapped as one. And on Sunday, the Prime Minister wants you to light a candle.
Mombatti, diya.
An appeal to unite India in light against the viral darkness. But as those candles and diyas are lit, 1.3 billion people will be united by something else. What happens after April 14th? With less than 2 weeks to go, it's India's single biggest anxiety. First, let's tell you what we know. The Prime Minister conducted a video call with state chief ministers yesterday, where he asked for suggestions from across the country. Could India follow the Japanese or German model of a selective lockdown? While a narrowed lockdown focused only on India's COVID-19 hotspots is theoretically possible, this could prove very difficult. The reason being, COVID-19 cases are no longer confined to a handful of areas. Also, with India now doubling its number of cases every 2 days, the contagion is speeding up, not slowing down. The total shutdown of public transport is unlikely to be reversed all at once. While discussions are on to consider highly regulated bus and metro services in the future, this could only happen alongside easing of overall lockdown conditions, which is not on the cards just yet. While the impact of the lockdown on the economy is immense, don't expect any sudden decisions on the opening of factories or offices just yet. The risks of a hasty decision are too great for a country this big. While India has been praised by the WHO for how it has handled the crisis thus far, expect an unusual amount of due diligence before any changes can be expected even after April the 14th. Bureau Report, India Today.
And our National Affairs Editor Rahul Srivastav is also with us. He's plugged into the government systems as well to get you the buzz and all the latest that's happening. A very important meeting by the Prime Minister with the Chief Ministers yesterday, Rahul. But the one thing I think that is emerging is that there is no blueprint really. The government and the states are taking this day by day. And I don't think it's going to be as simple as, business as usual after April the 14th. This is going to have to be a very slow, considered exercise.
Shiv, you see, right now the two elements which are dictating the lives for the public in the country and the decisions of the government,
yes,
one is coronavirus and this other is social distancing. These are the two elements which are going to dictate almost everything that happens to us and what the government does. Now, if you heard the Prime Minister today, he said, although that he said has become a matter of controversy, politics, and perhaps also adherence, he said, social distancing ki Lakshman Rekha ko langna nahi. Now, that perhaps is the key, that even if we look at the life beyond 14th of April, social distancing is going to be the new normal for some time to come. Now, at a moment like this, can the centre unilaterally decide that this is the time to lift the lockdown or impose the lockdown?
Yes.
One, it is not going to happen. The Prime Minister yesterday walked the consensus route, very clearly asking the states for suggestion. That means there is going to be a certain degree of suggestions which will flow from the state,
yes,
and then only a plan B, C may come up. The other element is Prime Minister talked about a staggered exit out of the lockdown. Now, what it means actually, what I will define it, I talked to some very senior functionaries in the government. They are talking about something which is emerging is called a rational lockdown.
Right.
Rational lockdown, eventually I have made some notes if you allow me to read from them.
Yes.
What a rational lockdown means is that you identify areas, you identify needs. Say, for example, harvest is a major event which Punjab, Haryana, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Madhya Pradesh, and several other North Indian states are waiting for.
Absolutely.
That exercise decides the future of India for the next couple of years. That exercise needs to be undertaken. So can there be a rational in which states can decide their own social distancing norms, their own relaxation norms? The other is also preparedness, Shiv. States like Tamil Nadu and Kerala have a very robust health mechanism.
Yes.
Can there be certain essential elements which can be relaxed so that these states can create their own mechanism?
Yeah.
I think eventually India is moving towards a very federal structure in which the states will create their own solutions and the center will become the coordinator and the facilitator. One interesting element which a senior officer, Shiv, I would like to tell you,
Yes.
very, very senior functionary in the government said, and he said that, I will say that he is saying that how soon people get out of the lockdown will be decided how beautifully and religiously they stick and adhere to the lockdown in the coming days.
Very, very important point that you make. And, you know, the other question that's on everyone's mind, Rahul, is that, you know, obviously this is not going to be black and white. Abhi lockdown hai, kal lockdown hat jayega, and, you know, everything simply just goes right back to normal. In many ways, the middle class especially, you know, is wondering whether this is going to be in some ways the new normal. Many of the things that we're experiencing now are actually possibly going to be even long-term facets of our everyday life.
Yes, Shiv, that's a very, very critical question. You see, our everyday life is not just dictated by what we do.
Yeah.
I think it depends on a very macro level what the nation does. Say, for example, I was speaking to some senior officials. They are saying that the daily GDP of this country is $8 billion. A 30-day lockdown can actually mean $240 billion back of the envelope kind of calculation. Now you imagine the cost. This is might be lesser, definitely, because the economy is over a year, can pick up, excite. I think what is very critical is that how various segments of the society can create their own sense of discipline, and within that solutions can be found. I think a lot of inputs are being created by states. A lot of inputs are being created by the center. Both of them will come together, and plan A, B, C, D, E will come up eventually by the time it is April 14th.
There is no magic wand. It's not going to be anything sudden whatsoever. So advice to all of our viewers as we face these uncertainties is there is no blueprint. Prepare for all eventualities. Things are not going to change on a dime for the foreseeable future. Plan at all events. Thank you very much, Rahul, for making sense of that story for us.
Hello everyone, this is Rahul Kamal here. Hope you enjoyed this video. For the latest news and analysis, like and subscribe the India Today YouTube channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated.